believe that they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, them Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation? Because the master over there might be nicer. My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do.
Elon Musk and 50 Cent just dropped a truth bomb that has the entire industry shaking. Diddy isn't the boss. He's just a distraction. And the real monster pulling the strings makes the Epstein list look like child's play. If you thought Diddy was a final boss, you've been looking at the wrong map this whole time. Elon Musk isn't just talking anymore. He's allegedly teaming up with 50 Cent to expose who's really been controlling this entire empire from shadows. And here's what makes this absolutely insane. While 50 has been loud about the parties and dropping his documentary, Elon has something way more powerful. The data, the receipts, and access to thousands of private DMs from Twitter, now X, that could burn Hollywood to the ground. You're about to see the three-level pyramid of power. We're starting at the bottom with Jay-Z and Beyonce. Then we're moving up to the industry mogul like Oprah and Clive Davis in the middle. And at the very top, there's one name nobody saw coming. A name that's been hiding in plain sight this entire time. This isn't about rappers or record labels anymore. This goes all the way to the pulpit, and 50 Cent has been screaming about it for months. So, buckle up, because what you're about to hear is going to change everything you thought you knew.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Before we climb this pyramid, you need to understand why Diddy's case matters way beyond hip-hop. And yeah, I'm not going to cover his bio data. I'm just going to cover what you clicked for. So, as we all know, 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary called A Reckoning because nobody else in the industry was speaking up. They were either scared, complicit, or being straight up controlled. And 50 said something that hit differently. He told the world that if he stayed silent, the entire hip-hop culture would look like they endorsed Diddy's behavior. There was no one else being vocal. So he had to step up.
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was like abusing, kids basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be. They
had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams was talking about it on
exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like who's feeding him the kids,
Right. Yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these, you're like,
now, here's where things get really dark. Diddy allegedly had 250 hidden cameras installed in his house. Yeah, you heard that right. 250 cameras recording everything at those freak-off parties. Industry insiders like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal confirmed this wasn't just for fun. Diddy kept footage as blackmail insurance. That's how he stayed powerful. That's how he kept everyone in check. And right now, these tapes are reportedly being shopped around Hollywood, and big names are absolutely panicking. But why does Elon Musk's involvement change everything? Because Elon owns X, which used to be Twitter. That means he has access to years and years of private DMs between celebrities, politicians, and industry power players. When Elon sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't just hint at things. He straight up called people out. He talked about Jennifer Lopez, who's been warning everyone about Trump. But Elon asked a question nobody else was brave enough to ask. How many people did J-Lo warn about Diddy? 0. Not a single warning. And J-Lo was literally Diddy's ex-girlfriend. Elon said it plain and simple. Maybe we shouldn't trust her opinion.
I want you to think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter. Yeah. Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
That one statement shook the internet, because if someone like J-Lo, who was that close to Diddy, never said a word, what does that tell you? Either she didn't know, which seems impossible, or she knew and stayed silent. And if she stayed silent, why? What was she protecting? Or better question, who was she protecting? Now, let's start climbing this pyramid. Level 1 is Jay-Z and Beyonce. And you might be thinking, wait, they're only at the bottom. Just wait until you see who's above them. Jaguar Wright did an interview on Piers Morgan, and she said things she wasn't supposed to say. Things about Jay-Z and Diddy that the industry wanted buried. And guess what happened? The episode got pulled off air just 48 hours after going live. Banned, gone, deleted. Jaguar asked a simple question that nobody could answer. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King on CBS? And she doesn't ask him one single question about the connection between him, Aaliyah, and R. Kelly. How does that interview happen without addressing the elephant in the room? She called both Diddy and Jay-Z monsters. She said they've had a fist of tyranny punching through the industry for decades. And then there's the Aaliyah conspiracy that refuses to die. A lot of people believe Jay-Z or Beyonce had something to do with Aaliyah's plane crash. The theory is that Aaliyah was too close to Jay-Z and someone saw her as a threat. Jaguar Wright straight up claimed that Jay-Z was responsible for getting Aaliyah on that faulty plane. She said it was punishment for Aaliyah rejecting him, and clearing Aaliyah out of the way made room for Beyonce, who was struggling at the time to rise to